I ask no favor for my sex. All I ask of our brethren is that they take their feet off our necks.
And that little girl was me.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Truth to Power. This is your girl, Dr. Matthews, the accountability specialist. Then our communication and political specialist, Mr. Wendell King. He will be joining us later, shortly. But I just want to say, hey, everybody, what's going on? Sorry we wasn't on last week because we have such extremely busy lives because y'all see me. I be from here to Austin. Then on top of that, Mr. Wendell's been busy. So, we're trying to keep the consistency, but it's hard because we need to get cloned because there's so many of us because we're dragged so many ways, you know what I mean? But, your girl's here. And then Wendell will be here shortly. So let's go ahead with this Hot Topic Tuesday. Let's talk about Lil Nas X real quick. Okay, let's talk about him. So I kept hearing people talking about this video that he's doing. So we already knew that he came out with him being gay. That's fine. Nobody don't have an issue with that. That's your business. But the issue that I'm having is, first of all, these devil worship shoes that he had going on that had a drop of blood in it. Okay, see, you're going too far. Then the video, it was very, very, very disturbing. It was things that dealt with Adam and Eve. Then all of a sudden, you breaking out doing a lap dance with the devil and all this here kind of stuff. Okay, so baby, we get it that you gay, but you're a devil worshiper on top of that. Oh, okay. Well, see, it's just a bit much. Then he turned around and made these tweets, like telling people like, okay, well, first of all, I made these songs. I can care less about your kids. You need to worry about your kids. So I'm like, oh, he just is getting real bold at this point. Sound like to me, he's not going to get any more records sold and he keep running around here acting like that. So I just thought that was really interesting. Matter of fact, let's look at the video so y'all can tell me what y'all think. So with that video, what did y'all get from that? Because what I got was something that was demonic. That's what I got. And, the lab dancing business and you lab dance with the devil and stuff and all that. Baby, my kids not about to watch that shit. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Lil Nas X, you done too much. I have an issue with you. I have an issue. What I mean by with him, I have the issue with the demonic approach. I have an issue with that. And that's just what that is. That's my opinion, and that's just how I feel. And that's just what it is. So let's look at the video with State Rep Park Cannon that was arrested in Georgia. She's a Democratic state rep, as a matter of fact. Let's take a look at this real quick.
Why are they coming all close to her like that? Why are y'all getting all close? But why does she have to step back?
Why is the governor trying to sign something in private? Why is he keeping a representative?
Why does she have to step back?
The governor is signing a bill that affects all Georgians. Why is he doing it in private? And why is he trying to keep elected officials who are representing us out of the process?
Exactly.
I know you don't have any control over anything other than suppressing people's right to vote and using your guns and your abilities to talk.
Yeah, you said you give her one more time, like you're gonna do something. Are you serious?
No, you are not.
No. She's not under arrest. What is
For what? Under arrest for what? For trying to see something that our governor is doing? What?
Ma'am, back up. Get out of the way.
Under what law are you arresting her? Why are you arresting her? Why are you arresting her? Tell us now. Why are you arresting her? Cited. Give me a reason why you are arresting her. Give me a reason why you are arresting her.
So, did you see what I just looked at? Yeah. Okay, so y'all gonna arrest this lady because she wanted to go to the governor's office to get clarification on this voter suppression bill that he signed, and only had these men in the room with him and had a plantation picture in the back of it. Interesting, right? So they arrested this woman. Okay, I'm gonna say this again. Black women is the least protected species on this planet. Clearly, this video then showed that what I just said is accurate and it is just to the point. I just couldn't take it because I was just like, oh my God, like y'all really doing this? Like, y'all really doing this to this lady? And the only thing that just went back with me at the point was just like, what happened with Sandra Bland. What happened with Breonna Taylor. And it's just like, your skin is your sin at this point. And, enough is enough. Something has to give. Something has to have change here. Because I'm telling you, they run around here arresting state reps. Now, y'all already know what they'll do to you and me. You hear what I'm saying? So it's a bit much. So while we're talking about what she was going to the governor's office for, she was going to the governor's office for the voter suppression bill that was passed in Georgia. What was so interesting with that is that you can go to jail for giving water and food. Then on top of that, they limit the voter mail-in where you can go and mail your ballots and things like that. So this is interesting because you know what? Texas is trying to do the same thing too. But what I find interesting is that, they are such sore losers. They were not ready for Georgia to turn blue the way that it did because you got Shaquisha and Nook Nook then came out and they didn't voted as well. And then you got Stacey Abrams and the other young lady that laid the groundwork and pretty much let them know we're going to show you better than we can tell you. And that's exactly what happened. So now you have the Republicans don't know which way to go with this situation. So this is why they're creating voter suppression bills to try to make all of these hoops to discourage us from voting. Because do y'all know that voting is your tool that you can actually use? Your vote actually matters. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that when you want to handle these jokers, you handle them at the polls. That's what you do. Okay? And then, like I said, they're trying to do this in Texas, right? This is interesting. So, Texas has a Senate Bill 7, right? And it's restrictions on Texas voting, right? See, I got it right here. Then it's supposed to be an election integrity type bill, which is Senate Bill 7. I was in Austin last week, and when I say it was hot, heavy, and heated for that specific committee with people testifying, they had to postpone it until this Friday, which is also going to be hot, heavy, and heated. So with this bill, y'all, it's supposed to limit the extended early voting hours, right? It's supposed to prohibit drive-through voting. It's supposed to require Texans to provide proof of disability to qualify for mail-in ballots. So, wee child. I'm just saying, these Republicans are scared for Texas turning blue. This is what this is about. So, I just find it interesting as to you want to do away with the drive-through voting. Why is that an issue with drive-through voting? People can verify who they are. I don't see how that's an issue. Then you want to limit the extended early voting hours. Why you want to do that? Because a lot of our people have jobs, and a lot of our people, they like to do early voting because they do have jobs, right? Interesting. Then you turn around and you got to provide proof of disability to qualify for mail-in voting. Interesting for that as well. So why is there an issue with this mail-in voting? Well, it's because of the big lie with Trump, because that's what put your ass out of office, because a lot of these people were voting, with mail-in. That's what they were doing. So it's just interesting to the fact that, these people want to put restrictions on our voting rights. And hey, Waddell, how you doing?
Hey, Dr. Matthews, how are you?
Good. I'm glad that you're here. We were discussing about the Texas Senate Bill 7, which deals with supposedly election integrity. And so I'm gonna go on and run it back real quick. It has where it limits the extended early voting hours is one. It prohibits drive-through voting, right? And then it required Texans to provide proof of disability to qualify for mail-in voting, right? So all of these voter suppression tactics that they are trying to address was basically what got their asses up out of the White House. So they're trying to do all of these different things to try to keep us from voting or to try to discourage us from voting. But you want to say is election integrity.
Yeah.
Interesting. What's your thoughts on it, Wendell?
I think that you just hit it on the head. I think that Texas is doing just as Georgia. And I think we can look forward to seeing Arizona pulling up next, because they've already been writing bills to pretty much do the exact same thing. So I do think that what it is I think it is a challenge to the stamina of Black people, because they're trying to make it difficult for us to vote. So what this really means is that we need to really drive out really hard and vote them out so that we can stop this. If they think that they're going to stop us by slowing us down this way, we need to show them that we are not the lazy Negroes that they think we are. So if they want to stop drive-through voting, then we make sure we go to the polls and early vote. If they want to say you have to be handicapped, disabled, or over the age of 65 to mail in your votes, then you get up and you go early vote. So we just have to show them that we are smarter and stronger than them, because it's going to be very difficult to stop them any other way.
Yeah, and seeing the only thing too, as far as with the early voting, they're trying to limit the extended early voting hours, and the majority of our people work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? They're trying to throw all of these obstacles, but just like you said, these obstacles that you're doing, baby, we finna make it work, and we finna turn around and put y'all asses up out of office, and that's what that is.
And that's all it is too.
Get ready, because you finna get your ass up out of there, so you can talk about that border shit all day long. That was done with your president too, who didn't do anything. So we're not trying to hear that deflection from that ERCOT situation, because your ass is in that shit. We're not trying to hear the deflection from, oh Lord, you're feeling that broadband expansion is more important than police brutality. You know what I mean? So it's just a bunch of shit to me. It's a bunch of shit.
I agree.
And so with the police brutality, let's talk about the George Floyd Act and the trial, right? Okay. So now the George Floyd Act passed in Congress on the federal side, right? We've had several states that has put this in legislation, executive orders, and things of that such, as far as dealing with eliminating chokeholds and qualified immunity. I know for sure New York has eliminated the qualified immunity. Mm-hmm. So in Texas, baby, House Bill 88, and I forgot the Senate bill that Senator West is carrying as well. When we were in Austin last week, Wendell, baby, it was off the chain. Do you hear me? When I say African Americans and brown people, baby, showed up and showed out, that's what they did. And then what was so interesting, they were there for the Senate Bill 7 and then also for the George Floyd Act. So everybody was like hip hopping. And so with the Senate Bill 7, they had to postpone it because it got so hot and heavy. Beto O'Rourke came up in there, stirred up some shit. You know what I mean? So they postponed that one. So that one is going to be happening on Friday. But as far as with the George Floyd Act, we fought like hell. I had some videos that I posted in the group where you can actually see a lot of these police unions, what they didn't want, Wendell. They didn't want qualified immunity. They wanted it taken out of the House Bill 88 bill, because what that does, it holds them accountable. I mean, they came up with all kind of bullshit saying that, oh, what this is going to do, we're going to have officers that's going to no longer want to be here and all this kind of stuff. Well, maybe the ones that wear the sheets, yeah, them. The one that's killing our people, yeah, them. I'm just saying. Because they actually had African American officers that didn't have an issue with the qualified immunity. They were more or less saying that they want white supremacists out of law enforcement. And we fought like hell.
Yeah, I think with the George Floyd, with the case finally like really being in front of our faces, finally, the hearing is finally going on. I think that a telltale is happening right before our eyes. So I think it's beautiful that the nation is kind of coming together to fight for the George Floyd bill in many states, but most definitely in these Republican states like Texas. But I think the saddest part is we're still looking at our faces being slammed, doors being slammed in our faces, because even looking at the prosecutor and the defense attorney, with the opening arguments, it was really sad that the prosecutor was chanting about the 9 minutes and 26 seconds or 27 seconds, while the defense attorney was literally trying to use his background and his drug issues as a means to justify what we saw.
They tried to demonize this man's character.
Yeah. So we're
try
still there. We're
justify.
still in the 60s.
Yeah, see, they try to demonize this man's character to justify what they did was right. And what was really the kicker for me was that they changed. It wasn't 8 minutes and 46 seconds. It was 9 minutes and 29 seconds.
Yeah, that's what I
So
said.
when I go back and testify, I'm gonna be like, okay, so the last thing I said was 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Well, now that we know the actual time, which is 9 minutes and 29 seconds, that should make every last one of you up in here to vote for this Senate bill, this House bill, and let's get it to the Senate so we can get it signed in the law.
And I'm hoping that this is finally signed into law. But what I'm really praying for is the dream, which is just praying for dreams, the cliche. But what I'm praying for is that this man, this police officer, is actually charged. I mean, well, he's already been charged, but I want him to be convicted.
Exactly.
I think that is important for Black and brown people right now, that there is an actual conviction, because we didn't get one with Breonna Taylor. We didn't get one with Ahmaud. Like, we need a conviction. Because right now it's looking like we're worse than the 60s right now.
I'm
And so
like this here.
even if they pass a bill, what then? Because we have many bills that have been passed that have not been pushed. So we need a conviction, or we're going to be looking just the same way we were looking before.
Well, I don't know about looking like what we looked before, baby. Minneapolis is gonna have a whole problem out there. Churches, chicken, and all them finna get towed down. And then we don't know how this is gonna make a ripple effect with all of these other states. You see what I'm saying? Now, do you remember this during the time when O.J. Simpson, when we had to been in high school at the time, about O.J. Simpson?
Oh, yeah, that was like
we were in high school.
Grade. It was 8th or 9th grade.
It was 10th grade for me, so it had to be 9th grade for you.
Yeah.
So what happened was that if he would have got convicted, baby, they was talking about rioting and all that stuff then too. But in this case, they gonna do it. They not talking about shit.
Simpson was on the brink of Rodney King. So,
exactly.
So we were, but we're still like, I feel like in many ways, Dr. Matthews, that we're probably worse off now when it comes to criminal justice and social injustice than we were then in the 90s, in those mid-90s, the mid-90s era, early 90s era. I think that we're worse off now than we were then, because even then, there was a fear. White America still had a fear. But now it's as though they don't. We just watched a Black woman that is involved in serving in office knock on Governor Kemp's door.
Oh, we gonna get into that. We gonna definitely get into that.
We are still backstroking, not knowing where we're going. We're just hoping for the best. We're backstroking.
But even with that video that we just recently saw, and you brought it back up again, Wendell, like that video just instantly just activated more trauma for me. You know what I mean? As being a Black woman. Because like I said earlier, the Black woman is the most unprotected species on this planet. And by watching that specific video, it triggered more trauma for me, because Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland, and many others that have been done wrong, some type of injustice that was done to them. And that video just instantly done that for me.
This woman literally knocked on the door.
That's it.
She literally, and she was not there trespassing. She is an elected official. And she knocked on the door and they had her drug away. And you know, I'm
I can
very,
imagine what happened when that elevator closed because they probably whooped her
yeah,
ass.
but you know, I'm very clear on my position, and many black men get irritated when I talk about this. But the mere fact that I was watching that and I saw black men scream and let her go while y'all doing this, you black men did not even try and save her. You stood on the side and screamed like a baby watching his mother being drugged off. And you did not protect her because you chose to stand there and watch because you did not care enough about her. We need these things, but everybody isn't meant to be a revolutionary. And I get that. Everyone isn't meant to be a revolutionary, but you shouldn't go for politics. As a black or brown person, you should not be in politics if you are not willing to risk it all for your people. That's just, you know, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting to watch that black woman knock on that door. And those 3 knocks that she gave was not for herself, but they were for the entire state of Georgia. And she was drugged off by 2 white men at that.
And when that elevator closed, the only thing that just came to my mind is like, I bet they trying to whoop her ass in that elevator.
It was disgusting. It was all
It
staged.
was very disgusting.
Very
It was
dis-
disgusting.
I'm sorry, I don't want to backtrack too much, but did y'all already talk about Lil Nas X?
Well, we can run that back again too because we didn't seen that video. So when they'll tell us your thoughts on that.
Hmm. I want, you know, my thoughts are very I'm very transparent when it comes to how I feel about things.
Right.
I don't care if you believe in God. I don't care if you are spiritual. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is understanding the balance of life. And the balance of life is yin and yang theory. You have good and you have bad in order to capture balance. At the point that this video is sending out so many narratives that are directly connected to that of evil. Let's leave church out of it. Let's leave God and Satan out of it. There were many messages that was connected to the negativity, the evil of paganism was all throughout this video. And what is pissing me off with my community, the LGBTQ community, is that we refuse to cite bad when it is connected to LGBTQ because we've been fighting for so long to be seen that we feel as though we have to be monoliths when it comes to LGBTQ. I didn't see that video as an LGBTQ. I saw that as a Gen Z child that is crying out for attention because his music has been trashed and he was looking for a way to deflect. And he chose to do it in a way that was demonic. I am not thinking that he is this devil worshiping person. I don't think it's Illuminati. I think it was he was recklessly using his platform to make money,
And controversy.
The problem that people have with it is because he was dressed in drag and he had on thigh boots. Baby, you are worried about that, obviously. The issue with that video was a long way from him being in drag. We've been looking at men being androgynous for so long. Just shut up. Rick
But
James.
see, that part wasn't an issue for me.
Liberace, watch me. Like we've been watching drag for years, decades. Let that go. The problem was that I tried to give him a chance when he slid down the pole. I was like, okay. But when he slid down the pole and did a lap dance on Satan and then got up and killed him, only to take his crown, put it on his head, his eyes lit up and the wings burst out. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand. But then to go forward and see that on the shoes that came out the very next day with 666 on the shoes, called Satan shoes, and on the box it reads, I would rather reign in hell than serve in heaven. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out. But then the LGBTQ want to scream, right? Okay, well, I'm LGBTQ. Let's scream. This boy came out at 19 years old, 2 weeks before he was up for his first Grammy, a publicity stunt. In his interview with Wendy Williams, he talked specifically about the fact that he lived his entire life as a straight boy and that he had girlfriends and he was always fearful. But then he wanted to tweet out that my whole life I've been told that I was going to hell because of my sexuality. You are a lie, queen, because you said that you lived a whole life with girlfriends and did not come out the closet until 2 weeks before your Grammy. So you do not have the right or the entitlement or the privilege to use stories that are connected to mine to make your pockets line up. Because the other reality is, I've taken the last 2 days just investigating. You've donated no money to LGBTQ. You've donated no money to the AIDS Foundation. You've donated no money to the homeless community of San Francisco or Atlanta. What are you doing with the monies that you're making since you are using the platform of gay now as a cushion for you to land on? I'm sorry. And to all of my LGBTQ brothers and sisters and whatever else, I am so over the idea that we are not allowed to not agree with something. If I can say Kanye West is trash and he's a black man, I can say Lil Nas X is trash when he's a gay man. We're going to stop being confused with how we decide who we're going to support and why we're going to support. We cancel Bill Cosby's ass. He's black. We cancel R. Kelly's ass. He's black. So we can cancel black, but we can't cancel gay. You got me messed up. Now, if you want to support evil, but if you want to support evil and all of that, do it. But don't keep going on under people's posts trying to force them to understand something about this symbolism and all of that. Everything is symbolism. Everything is fucking symbolism.
I ask you this. So by you even saying that, you know what just triggered with me right now? Is he really gay?
Well, you know, I've asked, let me tell you something. Ever since Frank Ocean, I've been questioning and challenging celebrities because all of them, Michael Sam, Frank Ocean, and now this child, all of them did it as a stunt when their careers were falling. And I'm sick of it. Frank Ocean was losing everything. His last album had gone bonkers. And then out of nowhere, he said, I'm bisexual. A month later, he's opening up for the Grammys. Michael Sam did not get drafted, came out, oh, I'm bisexual. And boom, out of nowhere, he was on Dancing with the Stars. And now this child has come out, I'm bisexual. Let's start here. Why is the politically correct way of saying gay in Hollywood is bisexual? Let's start there. Now let's go to the second part. You people want to keep supporting these people, but they always end up in the lap of a white man. Just like our black heterosexual men do. They use us to catapult themselves and then they run to white people. Well, what are you talking about, Wendell? Well, I happen to follow him on TikTok. And I noticed that on his TikTok, he's always with these same two white boys. And so I was like, well, girl, what is up with these two white boys? Only for me to find out that one of the white boys is the boy he's dating and the other white boy is the white boy's best friend. No shit. But who are the ones running to his rescue? Black gay men. I ain't the one because my story is valid. My story is real. I didn't come out when I had $1 million. I didn't come out when I was in an incubator called Hollywood to protect me. When I came out, I was a child not knowing what I was going to do. I had to live my truth regardless. So no. I don't buy what he's selling. I've had several people try and sell me this story. Baby, you can't sell me a story of a life that I actually live and one that you read a book about. That ain't gonna work. I don't care how many books you read. I don't care how many documentaries you watch. And I don't care how many cliches you memorize. Unless you have experienced what I experienced, you do not have the right to tell me what I can and cannot accept in my energy and in my spirit and in my atmosphere. So I don't care if you believe in God. I don't care who you believe in. Matter of fact, I don't care if you believe in your own self. But what I do care about is my energy. And I'm saying that it will not be in my energy. And if anybody has a problem with that, they know how to stop fucking with me because, you know, I don't look for friends. I ain't never been that person. But I put on Facebook today and I mean it. I am sick of people teaching other people how to live out loud while they're still living in secrecy. I ain't got time for that. How the hell you gonna tell me that I should do this and I should do that when you're still afraid to tell your truths? You're still living a facade on social media. You're still posting on social media like you are living the lifestyle of the rich and famous. Meanwhile, you're trying to hide your record. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I don't have time for that. Mm-mm.
Well, well, and he said what he said,
Hmm.
and that was the end of it. So, moving on. COVID-19 vaccinations. Everyone from the age 16 and up is able to get vaccinated. So, and then the CDC also created some new guidelines now. So, if you are vaccinated and the people that's you want to show your card? Let me go get mine.
Now I can party and have fun and not be worried about people trying to judge me if I don't have my mask on.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me just say,
We have our
let me just say
passport.
this, baby. I got mine copied. I have mine eliminated. So let me just go on and explain to y'all about this with this vaccine business. One, I'm about to get ready to apply for my renew my passport. So that's gonna kill that out the water.
It's
Two,
all for me to
when we
renew
go to the
it.
state capitol, what I found interesting with that is that Governor Abbott is real quick to want to turn around and say that he want to open up Texas, but he ain't finna open up that damn capital to your ass because you
Mm-mm.
have to have a COVID vaccine card or you have to take an on-site test. You said
Mm.
right then and now, or your ass ain't going in now. Number two, also is that now that it's open, so let's say that Wendell has a party at his house. Guess what? I can go to Wendell's house and don't have to wear a mask because we're all vaccinated.
Okay.
Okay.
They're doing
And the
it.
next thing I wanted to add with the vaccination as well is that let's say that I want to give an event, right? And I want to make sure that my event is COVID free. So they have companies that will come and do on site rapid testing to
Ooh.
make sure that all of your people are negative if they don't have a COVID vaccine card, right? Because I was at a party that had that going on.
So we're
So
getting back to normal. We're not normal, but we're getting close. We're getting closer to something that at least looks familiar to what used to be normal. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, if you are following the correct precautions, people can't say that they can't afford it because thanks to the Biden-Harris administration, there are a plethora of places to go to have the service done for free. You can get vaccine for free. You no longer have to worry about the age issue because they have now brought it down to 16 years old, and they're doing children studies now. So they're going to be doing
it
it for
will come out in the fall.
yeah. So and they're working on a booster also because my doctor sent us emails saying that we can get a booster shot in June or July. The booster shot should be ready. So we're getting back to normal. We just got to keep doing what we're supposed to do because I'm gonna
But you know
socially.
what? But how we got to this shit, let me make sure that everybody understand this, how we got to this. Okay? Now, y'all remember back when Obama was in office and they had the swine flu and all of that? Did that become a pandemic?
No.
No, because it's an actual organization that they use who will go directly to where that issue is located and they will put a vaccine there and they will isolate that
Mhm.
actual virus, right? Well, guess who was the numbnuts that dismantled that? That would be Trump's stupid ass. So he dismantled that, one. Okay. Two, this is why we in a pandemic, right? Because he tried to downplay the shit. Then he tried to be racist with the shit, calling it a kung fu virus and all this other shit. Then he turned around and he ended up getting the shit and infecting damn near everybody in the freaking White House. So, with that being said, this is why we in a pandemic because of this fool.
Yeah, did
And
you see Dr. Burke's interview? Well, not just Dr. Burke's. It was like pretty much all of the specialists, except for I didn't see Dr. Fauci on there. But they did an interview with them to just talk about the Trump administration, how they handled it. And Dr. Burke, she said something so interesting. She said that first 100 lives that was lost, there was nothing that could be done about it. But she said that every life after that, she is convinced could have been saved had everything been done correctly. Can you imagine? We're at 300,000 lives gone. And this woman that was the leader of the movement said that the first 100 lives was nothing we could do about it because it came so fast, so furious. But she said the other 290,000 lives could have been saved.
but see, what's even interesting is that they put a lot of these false narratives out here, y'all, to keep black and brown people from wanting to even get the vaccine. Because you know why? Because this is a form of population control. They want to kill your ass because
Wait,
you're
wait,
really.
500, we just got into it. I didn't know it was 530,000 now.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then check this out, Wendell. Then what's so interesting is that our people, they scared to because you're looking at all of these false narratives. They doing this shit on purpose
But it's
because
not just
they
them,
want
though.
to
It's us
kill
too.
your ass.
But it's black people also. We have to also be real about that. There are a
That's
lot
what
of
I'm
black
saying. It's
people.
black
Yeah,
people and it's basically our minority people. Because let me tell y'all something. If you see Sally Sue and Bertha going over here to go get the vaccine, the third ward, and them motherfuckers ain't never been in third ward, that should let your ass know something.
yeah.
You see what
And
I'm
I'm
saying?
still
And
seeing it.
then,
I'm still seeing it. And I'm seeing it from the same people. I'm seeing I'm not getting the vaccine. I don't trust it from the same people who were saying it wasn't real. Like literally.
Wendell, I'm gonna take it a step further for you. Let me go and take it a step further right quick. One, if you do not have the medical uh benefits like Trump and everybody else, go get that vaccine. Because when you have Miss Mary Joe, and Shaquisha, who you think gonna get on that ventilator first? It
Yeah.
ain't gonna be Shaquisha. Okay. Then
Really
another
sad.
thing that you stated that was interesting too was that wait a minute, you said something. What was that you said? You said something before I had said something, and I
That's
was
really
trying.
not. I was saying that it was black and brown people that was pushing the narrative, and it was the same black and brown people that were saying it wasn't real.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to say this. So with this, okay, here we go. So y'all saying that you don't want to take this. Y'all saying that it got all these different bad things and stuff like that. But you'll go pop an X pill in a damn minute though. You know what I'm saying? You'll turn around and drink some Ciroc. You'll turn around and drink Hen, Mad Dog 2020. Then you'll
You'll
turn
turn
around and
around
pop,
blunt from your lips to somebody else's lips.
yeah, and then you'll turn around and sniff some cocaine up your freaking nose. I
The
don't see
same
how you
part
do
into
this.
somebody else's nose.
Yeah, like you really, and then you go eating food that can damage your ass too. So
Run around having raw sex. Hmm.
I mean, raw dog, raw sex.
But you don't want a vaccine. You don't want a vaccine that can save
With
your
multiple partners, with multiple partners.
orgies. Like you're sitting up having nasty things sex. You're sitting up passing drugs around you. You're sitting up sneezing on food when you know you're cooking it for your coworkers. But then you won't have a vaccine. But y'all the same ones that said y'all weren't gonna have a flu shot. I've been getting my flu shot for 10 years now. Thank you, Jesus. I ain't never had
My
flu.
flu shot is a kid. Okay. So I mean, look here. I just want to say this clause. I can't tell anybody what to do. You know what I mean? But common sense is a virtue. It's you need to use it
My
because
grandma used to say common sense ain't common no more.
oh, you went there. Oh, you went there with there. You went there with there. I remember that. Well,
We
I
love
mean, that's
expecting
what it is.
we love expecting the abnormal to act normal. It's not going to happen. But I can tell you one thing, somebody got to tell the story. So I'm going to write a book about all y'all when this is all said and done. I will see your memory stays alive.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this before it's over with. What you know? What else? What I found out too is that okay. Remember that Biden signed those executive orders to where leaving out of the country and things like that, you have to have a COVID test, going and coming back. Guess how much they charging folk?
How much?
500.
Ooh.
Yeah. So my girl that do my nails, she's like, "Oh, baby, I didn't got my vaccine because I got to go to Mexico. I ain't paying no extra $500. I'm going to get my vaccine."
They're gonna send you to, as soon as you go to or get your tickets, you're gonna get the little pop up and cookies to tell you.
So
And
I'm
most hotels are now making you international. Most international hotels, when you come from the United States, want you are forcing you to get their insurance now. Also,
Ooh, interesting. So if you run around here wanting to travel and stuff, you better go on and go get that vaccine and go sit your ass down somewhere. But then check this out. Did you see all those people in Miami? Did
you
you
know,
see that?
I didn't know if I wanted to laugh or cry when I was looking at that.
You know what I saw when I saw all those people in Miami like that? I just saw that virus just jumping from everybody like a damn ping pong.
I saw their moms, dads, grandparents dying. That's what I saw. I
Yeah.
saw a bunch of selfish ass kids dancing and jumping around that was not thinking about the people that they're going to go home and be around. So since they felt like they were invincible, they didn't care about the ones that they love that were not invincible, that were vulnerable. So I saw a bunch of murderers. That's what I saw.
Bunch
Mhm.
of bullshit. Get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee behind me. That's all
Dr.
I'm
Goodluck
saying.
said he saw. Dr. Goodluck said he saw thousands of GoFundMe in the making.
Ooh, where my fan? Where is my
That
fan?
was shady boots, but I agree.
That was some shady boot shit right there.
And if 100 of them put it up, I'll break $1 and send each one of them a penny because you did it to yourselves.
You know what?
Suicide. Suicide by ignorance. How about that?
Go get your vaccine, boo. Quit playing.
Baby,
Quit
I
playing.
put
So we
one
can
down
get back
and
to
put one
normal.
down. Let's go.
Quit playing so we can get back to normal, people. Quit playing. And when you get your vaccine card, go get it laminated and keep it in your wallet. And then you scan it and make
I'm gonna get mine laminated tomorrow. I never thought about that.
oh, yes, sir, baby. Get it. Let's see, look here. I got
I'm gonna
this
get mine laminated tomorrow.
and I got the card, which it is laminated. Boom.
I'm gonna get it laminated tomorrow at work. I'm gonna get it laminated. All right.
Okay. You know who put me on that game? A little old little white lady at HEB.
They are. If you, my grandfather used to say, if you watch them long enough, you'll learn something.
Oh no, baby. She told me. She said that what you want to do, sugar, you want to go ahead and get it laminated. Be extra careful. And I thought about that. I say, baby, grandma was sure something right about that.
Yeah, you
Because
know,
I'm
Baylor,
telling you, when we go through the Capitol, when we go through the
took
Capitol
care of
there,
us.
it's crazy.
Baylor took care of us with the Moderna one because I got the big card, I got the wallet size card, and they emailed it to us. So I'm like, what's up? I'm busting through. That's my passport.
Well, I know I'm
Moderna.
Moderna. Me and my husband, my mama, all of us are Moderna. And I'm gonna tell you this here. When we go up in that Capitol and they have some of them folks, I'm telling you, that shit was set up like Resident Evil, bro. Like you can't even go on the south side of the Capitol anymore.
I'm
You gotta go
sure.
to the north side. And the north side have the military testing people, and they got cubicles that they tested each person in, and then they make them sit down and wait 20 minutes until the results come back. But if you got your card, you show your vaccine card and your ID, you get your green band over your arm. And me, Miss Candace. First of all, I don't go through the metal detector because I walk up in that bitch with my pistol on. All I gotta do is show my little thing, and I don't gotta go through nothing, baby. I just walk through. Everybody looking like, how this bitch get through, baby? Don't worry about it.
Your nails will set off the alarm. Your nails alone gonna make them.
Oh, you like my little Easter look, baby? Mm-hmm.
Now, how much were those? Don't even tell me.
310.
Do you know how many children you can feed in Africa with 300?
Well, baby, I ain't in Africa, so I send something so I can write it off on my tax.
You know what? I don't know if y'all talked about it before I came on or not. But what do you think about this new identity politics thing that's going on with Asian Americans because of the coronavirus and how it was treated? They're like really trying to demand that Joe Biden add more Asians to his cabinet. And I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not a Meghan McCain fan. Sometimes I like her, sometimes I don't. Right now, I've not been liking her. But one thing that I am aware of is that we have to stop making it seem as though Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has to heal over 400,000 years of pain 400 years of pain for the United States government. That is not there. There is no way. If we wanted more black women, we wanted more black men, we wanted more young people, we wanted more old people, we wanted more Latinx, we wanted more white women. Like, we want all of these things, but we're forgetting about actually getting jobs done. I am so sick of hearing this shit. Like, I feel bad for Asian Americans and I am standing with them. They don't deserve, just like Muslims didn't deserve it either. So I stand with them. But one thing I will not do is act as though they were raped, killed, and murdered and drugged to a new land to build it up to only be treated like tools in the tool shack.
Well, some of them was.
No, they weren't drugged to the United States. When I said, I'm talking about as a people. I'm not talking about sex trafficking. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about a whole nation being drugged to another nation, sold to Europe, and then drugged to another nation. And then you want me to get with you? So no. I think that it's hypocrisy. I think Tammy Duckworth needs to sit her ass down. I think that all of them need to stop it. I am so sick of hearing this. Like, we cannot keep putting all of these standards on Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It is not fair. It is simply, we're still trying to force them to give us a black agenda. Like, it is simply not fair. We had an entire black president. We didn't ask one time for a black agenda. But then when the old white man come up, we said, you got to give us a black agenda. We're not being fair. Like, I'm really sick of
they asked about that because after Trump did what the hell he did, Trump got everybody in the uproar.
Yeah, but that's forcing Joe Biden to right Donald Trump's wrong instead of getting whatever his
doing that since he's been in office. He's been doing that since he's been in office. And
like, I'm so damn tired of that. In a minute, Peter ass gonna roll up and say he got too many dogs, no cats. We need another cat in the White House. Like, I'm just so sick of this. Like, I'm like, so it's identity politics at its best.
Not another cat. Wait, hold on, we're there. Okay, so let me ask you about this. And then I know our time is running up. Okay, what you think about the Derek Jackson situation?
I think that Derek Jackson is no different than Steve Harvey. When Steve Harvey wrote his book, Think Like a Man, Act Like a Woman, when at the whole time he was a fornicator, he was an adulterer, he was treating his wife like shit. So how long will black women actually fall prey to these types of men? I think that is the problem. Why he didn't do it, y'all did it. Y'all made him the second coming. Y'all made him the Antichrist. Like, y'all made him this. We knew he was just a regular ass Negro, toxic ass man. And that was obvious.
That's a narcissist.
He was nothing but a thirst trap. So it was obvious that he was going to be a whore. I don't even think we should give him as much attention as we're giving him now with even talking about it so much, because the reality is he ain't no different than any other nigga. Period.
You know why? Because that thing turned around and said his book dropping at 12 o'clock.
Then he's sitting there with Moosey on the side, you know, this heifer just sitting there with her toxic ass, because she's toxic also. Like, I think that he is ridiculous.
You want to go and bring God into this. God don't got nothing to do with y'all crazy asses. And
But
I just
we have
I
to stop being so gullible.
all type of narcissist behavior, like a pimp, you know, it's like a pimp behavior. And then with her, you know, she to me it's like she's passive aggressive, but she does have some toxic with her as well. But then she also have some trauma that's going on with her too.
But
Baby,
that's what.
be
But
on
that's
somebody's couch.
but people don't realize toxic behavior comes from trauma. Like every villain started off a victim. I don't know why people don't get that through their heads. There is not one scary person you could ever talk about through history that did not start off a victim of the same thing they went on to persecute others with. So it all comes from trauma. But the reality still is you're toxic. She's toxic because she's allowing herself to be a pawn in his game. And that's where her issue comes from. He's toxic.
Did you see the one that he did when he did a video with him being third person? I say, you know what? They got medicine for that.
But it's games. But he's a sociopath and she's a psychopath. But
Yeah.
women that was running around acting like he was the perfect man, they are sociopaths also. Because it should have been obvious. My mom used to always say, when you got something, you don't have to scream about it, somebody else will. So the point that every time he had the opportunity to touch the social media world, he was always talking about men shouldn't cheat on their women and this and that. I knew then he was a cheater because he was trying to convince himself. He was trying to therapeutic himself away from it.
In a third person.
In a third person. He's a sleazeball.
I say, woo, child. Well, this was a wonderful night once again. And Wendell, you know how we do, honey, baby. When we get together, we tear it up. Ain't nobody exempt. We don't give a damn.
I need some hot tea right now for my voice to come back for work tomorrow.
Oh, Lord. Well, you know what? When you drink your hot tea, honey, because you know you're going to need that voice tomorrow, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to be reading somebody, because I know damn so I know I am. Shit. So let me go on and give our quote for the night, good people. And y'all going to love this one. Accountability is the glue that ties commitment to result.
Ooh. I love that.
Yes, let me go on and run it again for you.
I love that.
Accountability is the glue that ties commitment to results. Bob Proctor. Boop.
Make sure y'all follow us on all of your major podcasts: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and many, many others. We are Truth to Power Uncut because we keep it real. Okay?
And so, and I say this, and I say it again, and may the shade be with you.
Y'all be blessed. And I mean blessed like Jesus blessed. For those of you who are mad at the church. Okay? Mm-hmm.
The shade. Bye.
I know my Redeemer liveth.
I ask no favor for my sex. All I ask of our brethren is that they take their feet off our necks.
And that little girl was me.